Hello. For today's video I'd like to talk about a fountain pen that I find really quite remarkable. It's this one right here, the Hongdian Black Forest fountain pen. This one I bought 5 of them about a year ago, and they were only I think 5 or 7 New Zealand dollars each. But now when you try to purchase these on AliExpress or even Amazon, they are retailing for about 24 New Zealand dollars. So that's almost a 3 to 4 times price hike. And I think the reason for this was Hongdian was a relatively unknown brand, even just a couple of years ago. And then they made this excellent fountain pen that became really quite popular, and they kept selling and selling them. And now they're actually selling them for probably what they're actually worth, which is to say not quite as cheap as $6. So I've got, for comparison today, I've actually got another of my pens that I quite enjoy, which is the Pilot Custom 74. A good comparison, as I have these ones inked with Lamy black ink, and this is I think this is a fine, yes, this is a fine Japanese gold 14K nib, whereas this, well, you'll see shortly. These pens don't really come in any fancy packaging. This is actually how it comes in: a business gift pen made in China in this sort of weird gaudy orange cardboard box. And if you open it up, perhaps I should open it from this end. Well, that didn't open that nicely, did it? It just comes packaged in a crinkly, thin plastic covering, and then you've got this pen, and this is a new one, matte black, and a shiny black coated nib, steel nib, and I think it says fine. And it's got the Hongdian logo on the nib, and the same logo is seen right here. Can't really quite see in the cap. And grip is also of that same kind of matte colour, and when posted, the cap just sits on like that quite snugly, but then becomes really quite long, so I don't tend to write with it posted. I usually just write with it like this. I think let me just pop that out. The construction, this is probably steel or brass, so it's got a metal body, comes with a cartridge converter. And I might just put this one back. Pop this to the side. So these are two, also the same pen, Hongdian Black Forest, and I've been using both of these quite recently. I think which one shows more wear and tear, really. As you can see, as you use it more and more, the paint scratches off and the underlying metal can be seen. You can see as I mentioned, the metal scratched off. This one inked with Lamy black ink. And let's see how it writes. So this is the Hongdian Black Forest. It doesn't look like forest, does it? And it's a Lamy black ink, fine nib. So just do some downstrokes and upstrokes, right and left. Absolutely no skipping, also no skipping. A test of flexibility reveals that this nib is actually quite flexible for a steel nib, and you can see, especially when I put quite a lot of pressure, a little bit of railroading there, but there's a decent amount of flex to it. In terms of wetness, there's a wet fountain pen. It writes really superbly, and when I got these for $6, I really did think, wow, what a purchase, such a bargain. And these have been workhorse pens for me, these two anyway. They're just of such superb construction as well. The build is so good, and I'm not sure if they're a rip-off of any particular design. They look quite standard, really. Excellent pen. This one probably isn't inked. No, it's not inked. But I might dip it and just sort of show the consistency of these. So I haven't done any tuning on these nibs. They're still the same nibs as when I first purchased them. So this is a second pen, Hongdian Black Forest, in Lamy black ink, a wet writer, and that same level of flex, really. It's really quite a remarkable pen for its price. As a comparison, I'd just like to show how my Pilot Custom 74 writes. So this pen, again, I might just try and saturate that feed a little bit. There we go. Japanese fine, you can see the F there, fine 14K nib, gold nib. And so this is the Pilot Custom 74, also Lamy black ink, fine nib, but 14K gold, Japanese fine, downstrokes and upstrokes, right and left. This is a scratchy sort of pen, and then no skipping, flex. There is certainly a element of flex there, and wetness is not quite as wet as the Hongdian pen, but still pretty good. So there you have it, the Hongdian Black Forest. This is a pen that has tripled in price over the last year, and they're now selling for what they probably are actually worth, which is about 24 New Zealand dollars. So I consider myself lucky to have purchased these before the price hike, and I still have I think 3 of these I can give away to anyone who would be interested. Anyway, that's all for today.